I own a company called Summit Realty Group, and it is a commercial real estate brokerage company located in Indianapolis, and we do commercial real estate transactions around the world. I graduated from Purdue, and the market was horrible, even worse than it is now. Double-digit inflation, double-digit interest rates, double-digit unemployment, so I didn't really know what I was going to do. I had a strong desire to make a lot of money. And I read a lot of business journals and read about commercial real estate, and they had an article about the 5 top commercial real estate brokers that year. And so I called all 5 of them, just tracked them down and asked them how they got into the business. And they told me just to knock on a lot of doors. So it was kind of a risk, but it was well worth it. So I went to work for a company called Eaton and Loth, and that's where I learned the business. And I was there for 5 years. And developed a business plan and took it to the owner of the company and said, I think we can make this company even bigger, the brokerage part of it. So I started Summit Realty Group using that business plan 24 years ago. I started with 3 guys, and I didn't know them very well. There were 4 of us, and we decided to start our own brokerage company. Nobody thought that we would survive beyond the first year or 2. I really didn't have the money to do this, and I didn't need a lot. We needed $10,000 each. I didn't have $10,000, so I literally didn't pay my taxes that year. I paid them, but I paid them late and paid fines because I used that money to start Summit. And when we first started setting our goals and put our business plan together, everybody wrote down what they thought they would make that year. And all my partners put $150,000, and I put $400,000. And they said, no, we want a realistic goal. And I said, well, why is that not realistic? You know, there's brokers that make $400,000. Pete, you can't make $400,000 your first year in the business, the first year of the company. I said, I think I can. And so I set my goals for $400,000. I'm a strong believer in goal setting. And I took a lot of risks. I took risks going into the business initially. I took another risk when I started my own company. And I took risks after I started the company. I think the thing entrepreneurs need to understand is the risk reward. The more risks you take, the more you're rewarded. Entrepreneurs run this country. They're the ones that take the risks. They're the ones that come up with innovation. They come up with the better ideas. I was competing at Summit with companies that have been established for 100 years. And over a period of time, I beat them all because my processes, I kept improving the processes. When you get with the giant companies, you lose a lot of innovation and you lose a lot of risk and reward. So the key to being an entrepreneur is just having a passion to be the best at something and finding your passion. Looking back on it now, I'm amazed I had the courage. I don't think it was courageous. I think I was just that dumb. I didn't realize how hard it was. So having the confidence in myself to walk away from something that was secure but had a ceiling into something that was totally had no security but didn't have a ceiling, that was the biggest decision I ever made. After that, the decisions that impacted my business more than anything else were the day-to-day business decisions. Investing in myself, investing in my company. It's easy to take money out of your company, but you need to put money into your company to continue to grow. So now it's a day-to-day thing, but earlier it's just having the courage or the confidence to take some risk, to try to do something that's out of the norm. I think a couple of things. Number one, I think I did a good job picking my partners that had different skill sets. One of my partners now, for an example, and probably my most valuable associate, is the opposite of me. In every way you can be the opposite of somebody. I'm more of a people person. I'm a big picture kind of a guy. I'm a communicator. He was an industrial engineering grad from Purdue, and I knew that his skill set was different from my skill set, so I grabbed him. You don't want to hire, if you have partners that all think alike and feel the same way about everything, you got too many partners. So I surrounded myself with people that brought something to the table that I didn't have, and that's what I'm doing to this day still. So putting the right people in the right places, I think, is critical to success. Surrounding yourself with people that are better than you. If you ever want to be an entrepreneur and you can't handle rejection, you probably won't be successful, because people in my industry that are successful get rejected more than anyone else. Everybody likes to talk about the big transactions I've won, but what I talk about when I talk to people is ones I lost and the mistakes I made and how I've learned from those mistakes so I win the next one. I think the thing that surprises me the most is the way that people will surprise you, both good and bad. Sometimes you have to fire somebody not only for the good of the whole, but also for the good of that individual, and it made it real easy. But that was the hardest thing for me, was firing people. Making payroll. When you have 90 employees, those 90 employees get paid before you do. And you worked a lot of 15-hour days, especially early. Once you've established yourself and you've established a reputation, you hire good people around you, those things go away. They always ask me how you take it to the next level. What do you do to be successful? And for a period of time, I worked for, even while I owned Summit, there was another international company called Cushman & Wakefield. And I always told him the story about one of my most successful brokers in New Jersey, Frank Cacavo. Said, how do you do what you do? And he says, it's easy. He goes, you never lie. You understand your market better than anyone else. You understand your business, and you work half a day every single day. And of course, the brokers always respond and say, what do you mean half a day? You work real hard. And he goes, well, you pick any half you want, 6 to 6, 7 to 7, 8 to 8. What he's telling them is the guys in my industry, and in most industries, that work the hardest make the most money. And it's not a secret. I tell them all the same thing. Just get a job when you get out of school and start taking care of yourself and start learning what your passions might be. And sometimes you might know, but very few people that I grew up with knew what they wanted to do when they got older. And even if you think you know, that can change pretty dramatically. So if you've got a good work ethic, and no matter what you're doing, do it the best of your abilities, even if you know that's not what you're going to be doing the rest of your life. Everybody I worked for, I worked very, very hard for. And then when I started my own company, I work harder than anyone else. I will get there earlier and I'll stay later, and I set a good example. So if you want to achieve greatness in business, just be great, just act great, and eventually it'll take care of itself.